Hey guys, my name is Donald Izzo, and I'm here just to basically explain to you guys what's going on with the state police and Troop F. I can't believe I would ever want to do one of these types of videos. I never would ever think to myself that I would want to do one of these videos about the state police. I'm all for the state police, but when you feel something in your gut, you know that you have to say something if you see something. Basically, my son was abused by his stepfather. He reported it to the Middlefield, his school in Middlefield, John Lyman Elementary School, to his principal and to the therapist. The principal, Thomas Ford, and I got into a little bit of a disagreement. I said some words, to him. He said some words to me. He basically kept telling me that he was going to contact DCF. So I believed him. And I would think that I would get some type of, email receipt or something just to, have proof that this has been reported. Well, he's been giving me a hard time. So, of course, we had a little bit of an exchange. Naturally, he got the RSO, the school resource officer, or SRO, school resource officer, involved, and try to make it seem like I was threatening him and everything else. Naturally, he did contact DCF. The SRO, rest assured to me that he did, and I took his word for it. Nothing happened. Nothing, happened. I didn't get no calls, no emails. Nobody, messaged me to say, hey, this is what we found. Nothing. Well, I went online and I posted something about, the situation, and the DCF legal department contacted me, and they wanted to discuss they wanted to discuss the case of why it was, not approved. And basically, he stated that my son came down to them roughly around, I think it was like 11 a.m., 12 o'clock, right before lunch. He expressed interest that he had a bruise on his shoulder. I don't know from there what other questions he might have asked them, but one of the questions that DCF asked was, according to the DCL legal department gentleman that I spoke with, he told me that the mandatory reporter, which would have been Thomas Ford, never provided any photographs or videos regarding my son's claim. So his words were, it almost looks like nothing happened to my son. So he then asked me, did I forward this information or the pictures to the principal? And I have done that a day or two prior from Thomas Ford making the complaint. So he wrote me this email, and he basically stated that, quote, because the mandatory reporter did not provide important documentation regarding my son's injuries, they closed the case because it did not meet their abuse standards. So, of course, my heart drops. So I contacted Troop F, and I wanted to file charges. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is where the state police just went downhill. They would say, okay, not a problem. When you want to come in, blah, 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 blah. I would pick a day, the day before or the day of. They would either call, or I would call just to confirm or, to figure out where we're going to meet and stuff like that. They can't do it. They finally took the opportunity to take my son's report. When my mom and I went down to the Troop F location, which is a recorded area, we got a trooper, Russell. Nice lady, she seemed pretty cool. She seemed like she knew what she was talking about. The person that I was here to see was Jerry Richardson, which is the guy I spoke to the night before. Unfortunately, he was involved in a fatal, so he couldn't be there. So Trooper Russell came out to deal with my mom and I. So when she looked at my report, she said that she found some mistakes, and she stated on her body cam that I was complaining about the wrong trooper. So she said nicely, how about we meet on Friday? She goes, I don't know if I'm working, but she goes, I'll leave a note for the dispatchers. Just call when you're in the line with your son, and I'll come out and meet you. Perfect. Sure enough, 2:45, 3 o'clock, I call them. I'm in line. I get this dispatcher named Cody. He immediately tries to shut me down and says, Don, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no notes. He starts going down that rant. I said, Cody, how about you just call Trooper Russell and ask her what she said to me and my mom? I said, it happened at Wednesday night. It was downpouring. She remembers us seeing us there. We were soaking wet. Like, come on. Like, let's stop beating around the bush. Well, he got off the phone with me. He called me back 20 minutes later. He didn't apologize. He just kind of brushed me off and said, Trooper Russell will meet you at, I believe it was 475 Main Street, which is their, I don't know, their trooper house, their substation. Not a problem. I pick up my son. I let my son know that we have to go see the trooper. We go to 475 Main. We get there. She's not there. I wait 45 minutes. Now, my son and I are waiting there 45 minutes in that parking lot, and we're waiting for her to show up. She finally shows up. She gets out of the car. It's snowing out. Guys, it's snowing out. You would think that she would start asking questions when we went inside. I start walking to the door, and then she stops me and says, we can't go in there. So I kind of just looked and said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, could we go over here? She goes, no, hon, I don't have the keys to this building. So I looked at her and I just said, well, there's an opening over here. I said, can we just ask them just so we can take the report and, so we're not sitting outside in the snow and my son's, chattering his way. I mean, that's just kind of ridiculous. So I do that. We go walk in. The people that were there, they allowed us to use the room down the end of the hall. So the Trooper Russell started. She goes, let me get the information you got on your USB drive from the other day. She goes, I'll talk to your son, and then I'll take your report regarding the principal. Fine. Trooper Russell started asking a few questions. It seemed all right. Again, I don't know, based on her questions, how much information she really got. She could have been a little bit stronger on the questions, but whatever. So there was one question that I really did feel that she asked that really, made me feel that the state police was helping out, is when she asked can my son demonstrate how the incident happened. And I have to say, for my son being a strong 8-year-old child, he was able to be dead on point with her. And I gotta say, that was pretty good on her part. So then we get done with him, and I would think that she was going to start with me. She wasn't on her phone. She didn't get on the radio or anything like that. Body cam rolling. She goes, hey, I'm just going to take your information. She goes, and I'll get back to you. So I kind of looked at her and I said, what are you talking? That don't make no sense. But again, I'm not going to start an argument with my son. It's not worth it. So I just gave it to her. I gave her the information, and I just told her, look, there's a lot of inappropriate information on here. I said, I know you guys probably think that I'm being difficult with you guys, but I'm not. I said, my ex is, just trying to start this whole whirlwind of problems. And I've been going to court since 2016. I have beaten every charge. I've done everything I possibly can. It sucks, but you know what? I'm not going to give up on my child. And I would recommend that to anybody that listens to this video. So basically, since then, I haven't heard back from the state police. Yes, I have contacted the state police almost every day. Since after Christmas, only because after a few days I was realizing that something wasn't clicking. And since then, I just been banging heads with them. Like they feel that they took a report from me. They're claiming that they investigated the officers. So basically, I'm just making this quick video just to kind of give you guys a heads up what's going on with the state police, Troop F. I am going to post some links of some recordings from start to finish. I want to be 100% transparent with everyone. I don't feel that it should only be one side. I feel that you should be able to hear both sides. And I'm not posting this to be, malicious in any way. To be honest with you, I'm posting this because it's a little scary that the state police has this kind of power, and for a person that has never really been in trouble with the law, could be treated like this as a taxpayer. So if it can happen to me, I mean, it can happen to you. Again, my son's 8 years old. He means the world to me. Seeing my son with a bruise on the back right shoulder of him. Yeah, that was, at first when he told me it, I couldn't believe it. That's why I didn't rush to call the cops right away, like seconds. I had to take a deep breath. I had to just take it all in and, but something's going on. You give me your opinions, comments, let me know. Thanks, guys.